When faced with situations where others have overlooked, underestimated, or hurt you, the best response is not retaliation, but transformation. Focus on yourself, not on proving them wrong. Growth is not about convincing others of your worth. It's about discovering and nurturing your potential, regardless of who notices. It's about planting seeds in the garden of your life and tending to them until they bloom, even if no one else is watching. Every one of us carries untapped potential waiting to be unlocked. Often we become so preoccupied with external validation that we forget the incredible power of internal growth. It's tempting to focus on how others perceive us, especially when they've doubted or dismissed us. But the truth is, their opinions hold no real bearing on your ability to thrive. The power to grow lies within you, and it starts with shifting your focus inward. Think about the energy it takes to dwell on what others think or feel about you. That energy can be redirected toward building your future. Instead of trying to change their minds, focus on changing your life. Set your sights on personal goals, no matter how small or ambitious they may seem. Whether it's learning a new skill, deepening your relationships, improving your health, or pursuing a long-held dream, the journey toward growth begins with a single intentional step. Growth also requires self-reflection. Take a moment to evaluate where you are and where you want to be. Ask yourself, what are my strengths? What are the areas I want to improve? What's holding me back, and what can I do about it? This process isn't about finding fault with yourself, but about identifying opportunities to rise higher. The path to self-improvement is never linear, and setbacks will happen. Embrace them as part of the process, not as evidence of failure. One of the most liberating truths about personal growth is that it doesn't need an audience. Growth happens in the quiet moments when you're studying late into the night, practicing in solitude, or showing up for yourself when no one else is there to cheer you on. These moments, though unseen by others, shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Over time, the progress you make becomes undeniable, not because you shouted it from the rooftops, but because it radiates from within you. It's important to recognize that growth isn't a one-time event, it's a lifelong journey. Along the way, you'll discover parts of yourself you didn't know existed. You'll uncover strengths you hadn't tapped into and overcome challenges you once thought were insurmountable. The beauty of focusing on your growth is that it transforms you from the inside out. You become more resilient, more confident, and more grounded. You learn to value yourself for who you are, not for how others perceive you. When you focus on your growth, you also learn to let go of what doesn't serve you. That includes the opinions and actions of others who may have doubted or mistreated you. Forgiveness, though difficult, is a powerful tool for your growth. It's not about excusing their behavior, but about freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. When you let go of the pain and focus on your own progress, you reclaim your power. As you grow, you might notice something interesting. The people who once doubted you begin to take notice. Your accomplishments speak louder than anything you could say. Your transformation becomes a testament to your strength and determination. But by then, their recognition won't matter as much as it once did. You'll find fulfillment not in their validation, but in the pride you feel for how far you've come. Ultimately, focusing on your growth is about living authentically and intentionally. It's about committing to your dreams and goals, not to prove others wrong, but to honor your potential. When you invest in yourself, you create a life that reflects your true worth. And in doing so, you inspire others not by trying to, but simply by being who you are. So let the doubts and dismissals fade into the background. Turn your attention to the work ahead and the person you're becoming. When you focus on your growth, you not only change your life, but also show the world what's possible when you choose to rise above. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can do for yourself and others is to take a step back. Distance provides a sense of clarity that can be hard to achieve when emotions are running high or when you're too close to a situation. Whether it's a strained relationship, a challenging environment, or a moment of confusion about your next steps, creating space allows you to see things from a fresh perspective. When you're deeply involved in a situation, it's easy to become overwhelmed by details, emotions, and expectations. You might find yourself trying too hard to fix something, gain approval, or make someone see your point of view. But in the process, you can lose sight of what truly matters: your own peace, priorities, and well-being. Distance allows you to break free from that cycle and view things from a higher vantage point. Creating space isn't about giving up, it's about giving yourself the time and room to breathe. It's about stepping back so you can reassess the situation without the constant noise of emotions or external pressures. In the stillness that distance brings, you can begin to understand what's really at play. You may realize that the validation you've been seeking from someone else isn't as important as you thought. Or you might see patterns in your relationships or behaviors that were hard to spot before. Distance also gives others the opportunity to reflect. When you're always present, constantly giving or striving, people can take you for granted, not necessarily out of malice, but simply because they've grown accustomed to your presence. Stepping away creates a void, and in that void, people begin to recognize your value. They start to miss the contributions you made, the energy you brought, and the support you offered. Sometimes it takes your absence for your importance to become clear. This concept applies not only to personal relationships, but also to professional and social contexts. In a workplace or community, pulling back from overextending yourself can lead others to appreciate the work you've been doing. It's a reminder that your worth is not tied to constant availability. Setting boundaries and creating distance can foster respect, both from others and for yourself. One of the most empowering aspects of distance is the opportunity it provides for growth. When you're enmeshed in a situation, your energy often goes toward maintaining it, even if it's no longer serving you. By stepping away, you reclaim that energy and can redirect it toward your own development. You have the freedom to focus on your goals, your passions, and the parts of your life that bring you joy and fulfillment. In doing so, you become stronger, more self-assured, and more aligned with your values. Distance doesn't have to mean cutting ties completely, it's about finding a healthy balance. Sometimes it's as simple as reducing the time and energy you invest in a situation. Other times, it might mean creating physical or emotional space for a while. The key is to approach it intentionally, with the goal of gaining clarity and fostering growth. Through this process, you may discover truths about yourself and others that were previously hidden. You might realize that certain relationships or commitments were built on shaky foundations. Or you could find that some connections grow stronger with time and space as both parties gain a deeper understanding of their own needs and contributions. It's also important to acknowledge that creating distance can be uncomfortable at first. You might worry about how others will react or feel a sense of guilt for stepping back. But remember, prioritizing your well-being isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to show up authentically and meaningfully for others. As you embrace the power of distance, you may notice a transformation not only in how others perceive you, but also in how you perceive yourself. You begin to trust your own instincts and value your own time. You realize that your worth isn't dependent on constant proximity or approval, but on the unique qualities you bring to the world. In the end, distance is a gift to yourself and to those around you. It allows you to recalibrate, grow, and ultimately return to your relationships and commitments with a clearer sense of purpose. And if some connections don't endure the space, that too is a form of clarity, showing you where your energy is best invested. Seeking validation is a natural human tendency. We want to be seen, appreciated, and acknowledged. However, chasing validation, constantly looking to others for approval, can become a trap that holds us back from living authentically. It can cause us to measure our worth through the eyes of others, leaving us vulnerable to their judgments, expectations, and moods. Letting go of this need is one of the most freeing and empowering steps you can take towards self-fulfillment. When you chase validation, you hand over control of your happiness and self-esteem to someone else. Their words, reactions, and opinions start to define how you feel about yourself. This can lead to a cycle of overcompensation where you try to prove your worth through actions designed to please others. But no matter how much you do, it's impossible to please everyone. Some people will never give you the validation you seek, either because they don't see your value or because they simply choose not to. Relying on external validation is like trying to fill a bottomless well. The moment you receive a compliment, acknowledgement, or approval, the satisfaction is fleeting. Soon, you're searching for the next affirmation to feel whole again. This endless pursuit can leave you drained, frustrated, and constantly second-guessing yourself. More importantly, it prevents you from recognizing and appreciating your own intrinsic worth. To stop chasing validation, you must first shift your focus inward. This means learning to validate yourself. Ask yourself, what do I think about my actions? How do I feel about the choices I've made? Am I living in alignment with my values and goals? When you start to answer these questions honestly, you'll realize that your opinion of yourself is the one that truly matters. By honoring your own voice, you begin to build a foundation of self-confidence and self-respect that isn't dependent on others. This doesn't mean you should dismiss all feedback or input from others. Constructive criticism and encouragement can be valuable tools for growth. The key is to differentiate between seeking guidance and chasing approval. When you're secure in yourself, you can take in feedback without letting it define you. You can listen with an open mind, consider what resonates, and let go of what doesn't align with your truth. Another important aspect of breaking free from the need for validation is recognizing your triggers. Reflect on why certain people or situations make you crave approval. Are you trying to prove your worth to someone who has doubted you? Are you seeking acceptance from a group you feel excluded from? Understanding the roots of your need for validation can help you address those deeper insecurities and begin to heal. When you stop chasing validation, you also free yourself from the pressure to conform to others' expectations. You no longer feel the need to act, speak, or dress a certain way just to fit in or gain approval. Instead, you give yourself permission to be authentic. This authenticity is incredibly powerful. It allows you to attract people and opportunities that align with your true self, rather than a version of you molded by external pressures. It's important to understand that not everyone will see or appreciate your value, and that's okay. Their inability to recognize your worth doesn't diminish it. You are not for everyone, and everyone is not for you. Trying to appeal to everyone only dilutes your essence. When you embrace this truth, you stop bending over backward to seek validation from people who aren't meant to be part of your journey. One of the most beautiful outcomes of letting go of the need for validation is the freedom it brings. You stop worrying about what others think and start living for yourself. You take risks, pursue your passions, and make choices based on what feels right for you, not what you think will win approval. This freedom allows you to experience life more fully and to find joy in simply being yourself. Over time, as you cultivate self-validation, you'll notice a shift in your relationships. People will begin to respect you more because they sense your confidence and authenticity. Ironically, when you stop chasing validation, you often receive more genuine admiration and respect from others. But by then, their approval will feel like a bonus, not a necessity. Ultimately, chasing validation keeps you running in circles, while self-validation sets you free. It's not about rejecting others' praise or recognition, it's about not relying on it to feel whole. When you validate yourself, you reclaim your power. You become the source of your own worth, and no one can take that away from you. Silence is one of the most underestimated tools of strength and communication. In a world that often encourages us to constantly explain, defend, or prove ourselves, choosing silence can feel counterintuitive. Yet silence carries a profound power. It creates space for clarity, commands attention, and often speaks louder than words. It is in the moments of silence that transformation happens, both within ourselves and in the way others perceive us. When you encounter situations where you feel misunderstood, hurt, or undervalued, the immediate instinct might be to react. You want to explain your side, prove your worth, or confront those who wronged you. But sometimes, speaking in the heat of the moment can dilute your message or escalate conflict. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to step back, gather your thoughts, and respond with intention. It shifts the dynamic, giving you control over the narrative rather than being pulled into a reactive cycle. Silence is not passive, it is deliberate. By withholding words, you communicate a message of self-assurance. It shows that you don't feel the need to justify yourself to everyone or engage in every battle. This kind of restraint often commands more respect than an emotional outburst. People tend to lean in when words are withheld, seeking to understand what your silence means. It's a subtle yet powerful way of reclaiming your space in any interaction. Moreover, silence creates room for self-reflection. In the quiet, you can process your emotions, understand your triggers, and gain clarity about what really matters. It's in these moments of introspection that you can identify your next steps with a clear mind. Rather than reacting impulsively, silence gives you the chance to align your actions with your values and goals. This thoughtful approach not only preserves your peace, but also strengthens your position when you do choose to speak. Silence is also a form of boundary setting. When faced with negativity, criticism, or unproductive conversations, choosing not to engage sends a clear signal you won't waste your energy on what doesn't serve you. This doesn't mean you avoid conflict altogether, but it does mean you're selective about where and how you invest your words. Over time, this approach trains others to approach you with respect, knowing that you won't be drawn into unnecessary drama. Another powerful aspect of silence is its ability to create mystery and intrigue. In relationships, whether personal or professional, silence can make people curious about your thoughts and feelings. It shifts the dynamic, making others work harder to understand you. This isn't about playing games, but about recognizing that you don't have to lay everything out for others to see. Sometimes what you don't say can be as impactful, if not more, than what you do. Silence also allows actions to take center stage. When words fail to convince or carry weight, your actions can speak for themselves. Achievements, consistency, and growth often say more than explanations ever could. By focusing on what you're doing rather than what you're saying, you let your progress and accomplishments tell your story. Over time, this approach not only silences doubters, but also inspires respect and admiration. In difficult situations, silence can also be a tool for emotional regulation. When faced with criticism or provocation, pausing instead of reacting immediately gives you the upper hand. Silence allows you to diffuse the tension and prevents you from saying something in the heat of the moment that you might later regret. This pause not only protects your relationships, but also helps you maintain your dignity and composure. Of course, silence doesn't mean suppression. It's not about bottling up your feelings or avoiding necessary conversations. Instead, it's about choosing when and how to express yourself. Silence is a tool, not a permanent state. When used wisely, it enhances the impact of your words when you do speak. Your voice carries more weight when it's not overused or given away carelessly. Silence can also be a source of strength in moments of vulnerability. When someone hurts or betrays you, staying silent rather than lashing out can be a powerful statement. It shows that their actions don't control you, that you have the discipline to rise above pettiness. Silence becomes an act of self-respect, a way of saying, I don't need to stoop to your level to prove my worth. Ultimately, the power of silence lies in its intentionality. It's not about avoiding communication, but about mastering it. Silence allows you to protect your energy, assert your boundaries, and communicate on your own terms. It's a reminder that sometimes the loudest statement you can make is to say nothing at all. When you embrace silence as a tool for strength, reflection, and self-respect, you take control of your narrative, and that is a power no one can take from you. Life inevitably brings moments of pain, betrayal, or disappointment. Whether it's from a failed relationship, a missed opportunity, or someone's hurtful actions, the wounds we carry can feel heavy. However, these experiences don't define us, they shape us. The path forward is not to stay trapped in pain, but to heal from it and use the experience as a springboard to elevate ourselves. Healing and elevation are interconnected processes that transform adversity into growth and pain into power. Healing begins with acknowledgement. To heal, you must first face what has hurt you. It's natural to want to suppress or avoid pain, pretending it doesn't exist. But true healing requires honesty with yourself. It's about recognizing the emotions you feel, whether sadness, anger, frustration, or grief, and giving yourself permission to experience them fully. This doesn't mean dwelling in negativity. It means allowing yourself to process the pain so you can move forward authentically. Part of this process is letting go of blame. While it's tempting to focus on who or what caused your pain, holding on to resentment keeps you tied to the very thing that hurt you. Forgiveness, while difficult, is a powerful tool for healing, not for the sake of the other person, but for your own peace. Forgiveness doesn't excuse harmful actions, but it frees you from the emotional weight of carrying anger or bitterness. It's an act of liberation, allowing you to reclaim your energy and redirect it toward your growth. As you heal, self-care becomes essential. Healing is not just emotional, it's physical, mental, and spiritual. Taking care of your body through proper rest, nutrition, and exercise can have a profound impact on your emotional well-being. Engaging in activities that bring you joy, calm, or inspiration, whether it's spending time in nature, creating art, or meditating, helps to rebuild your sense of self. These small acts of care remind you that you deserve love and attention, especially from yourself. Elevating yourself is the natural next step after healing. Elevation is about taking the lessons learned from your pain and using them to rise stronger and wiser. It's a process of transformation, where you take what once held you down and turn it into fuel for your growth. Pain has a way of illuminating areas in your life that need change. Maybe it reveals patterns in your relationships, boundaries you've neglected, or dreams you've put on hold. Elevation is about addressing these areas with courage and intention. One of the keys to elevation is setting goals that align with your values and vision for the future. Instead of focusing on what you've lost, turn your attention to what you can create. This might involve pursuing a career goal, cultivating a new skill, or building healthier relationships. Elevation is not about proving yourself to others, it's about fulfilling your own potential. It's about becoming the person you've always known you could be, regardless of past setbacks. Another important aspect of elevation is surrounding yourself with people who uplift you. Healing and growth are challenging journeys, and having a supportive community can make all the difference. Seek out individuals who inspire you, encourage you, and celebrate your progress. Let go of toxic relationships that drain your energy or keep you tied to old wounds. Elevating yourself often means outgrowing people or situations that no longer align with your path, and that's okay. As you heal and elevate, you'll find that your perspective begins to shift. What once felt overwhelming or unfair starts to look like a stepping stone. The challenges you face become part of your story, not the end of it. You realize that pain, while difficult, has the potential to deepen your empathy, resilience, and understanding of yourself. This new perspective empowers you to approach life with greater confidence and grace. Healing and elevation are not linear processes. There will be moments when old wounds resurface or when progress feels slow. Be patient with yourself. Growth takes time, and every step forward, no matter how small, is significant. Celebrate your victories, even if they seem minor. Each milestone is evidence of your strength and determination to move beyond what hurt you. Ultimately, healing and elevation are acts of self-love. By choosing to heal, you honor your past without being defined by it. By choosing to elevate, you honor your future and the incredible potential within you. Together, they enable you to rise above pain and create a life that reflects your true worth and values. In healing, you find peace. In elevation, you find purpose. And in both, you reclaim your power. Living well isn't about meeting society's expectations, impressing others, or accumulating superficial markers of success. It's about designing a life that feels fulfilling, meaningful, and authentic to you. To live well on your terms means embracing your individuality, honoring your values, and prioritizing what truly matters to you. It's not about comparison or competition. It's about crafting a life that aligns with your unique vision of happiness and purpose. At its core, living well begins with self-awareness. You must take the time to understand who you are, what you want, and what brings you joy. This requires peeling back the layers of societal conditioning, external pressures, and other people's opinions. Ask yourself, what does success mean to me? What makes me feel alive? What kind of life do I want to create? Your answers are the foundation for a life lived on your terms. They help you define your priorities and guide your decisions. One of the first steps to living well is letting go of the need for approval. When you base your choices on others' expectations, you risk living a life that feels hollow or misaligned with your true self. You might chase a career that looks good on paper but leaves you unfulfilled, or maintain relationships out of obligation rather than genuine connection. Freeing yourself from this need allows you to make decisions that serve your happiness and growth, even if they don't align with what others expect of you. Living on your terms also means setting boundaries. You have the right to say no to things that drain your energy, compromise your values, or distract you from your goals. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out, they're about protecting your time, energy, and peace. When you prioritize what matters most to you, you're better equipped to show up authentically for the people and pursuits that truly enrich your life. Another key to living well is embracing your unique journey. No two lives look the same, and that's the beauty of it. Stop comparing your path to others. Whether you're building a career, starting a family, pursuing a passion, or simply focusing on personal growth, your timeline is yours alone. Progress isn't always linear, and success isn't always flashy. Sometimes living well means finding contentment in the small, quiet moments that bring you joy and peace. To live on your terms, you must also define success for yourself. For some, success might mean professional achievements or financial stability. For others, it could be about meaningful relationships, creative expression, or personal freedom. There's no right or wrong definition. What matters is that your definition feels authentic to you. When you measure success by your own standards, you free yourself from the pressure to conform to societal ideals. Living well also involves taking care of your well-being physically, mentally, and emotionally. A fulfilling life requires energy, focus, and resilience, and these come from nurturing your health. Prioritize self-care, not as an afterthought, but as a cornerstone of your lifestyle. Exercise, eat nourishing food, get enough rest, and make time for activities that recharge your spirit. When you feel strong and balanced, you're better able to pursue the life you want. Pursuing passions and cultivating purpose are essential components of living well. Your interests and talents are unique to you, and they are meant to be explored and expressed. Whether it's through your career, hobbies, or contributions to your community, find ways to engage with what lights you up. Purpose doesn't have to be grandiose. It can be as simple as finding ways to bring kindness, creativity, or joy to the world around you. Living well also requires embracing change and being open to growth. Life is dynamic, and so are you. Your values, goals, and dreams may evolve over time, and that's perfectly normal. Instead of clinging to a fixed idea of what your life should look like, allow yourself the freedom to adapt and redefine what living well means to you at different stages. This flexibility ensures that your life remains vibrant, meaningful, and aligned with who you are becoming. Lastly, living well on your terms means cultivating gratitude. While it's important to strive for the life you want, it's equally vital to appreciate the life you already have. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, reminding you of the abundance in your daily life. It helps you find joy in simple pleasures, strengthens your connections with others, and deepens your sense of fulfillment. Ultimately, living well on your terms is about embracing authenticity, practicing self-compassion, and finding harmony between ambition and contentment. It's about recognizing that your life is yours to shape and you have the power to make it meaningful. By living intentionally and staying true to yourself, you create a life that not only feels good to you, but also inspires others to do the same.